to LOA Today. I'm Walt Thiessen. With me on the show today, Debbie G and Neo Positivity. This is your daily dose of happy. We are so happy you decided to join us today. Now there she is in her Santa hat with a tiara. I love it.
Yes.
Good. All right. Got a slight change of plan today. Our guest actually had a last-minute conflict, couldn't be joining us, so we will be rescheduling him for another time, which is going to be really cool because everything Neo tells me about him says, yeah, we want to be talking to this guy. But that's all right. We'll be carrying on the conversation today. Debbie is in the spirit of the holidays right now. You can just see it. I mean, it's all over your head right now. I mean,
it's all over my background, too. I'm just having way too much fun here.
Uh-oh.
Up your volume is very low all of a sudden. We hear you, but it's like, ooh, really quiet.
Can you hear me now?
Quiet.
Yeah, it just needs a volume boost of some kind. Wonder what happened there.
I don't know. I'll check it and let me see.
It's adjusting
anyway,
itself. It's getting better.
Well. So, yeah, I'm having like a seriously great time. I mean, really?
Oh, look at this.
Okay.
That is a cute little Santa type outfit. I love that.
I mean, really, I'm looking for the creature that's going to fit in that.
Yeah.
Seriously.
That would be,
you see there's Santa pants too. You guys just gotta, for those that are listening, I'm showing a cute
99% of the audience.
Yeah, I'm showing these really cute little Santa sweaters, and they're adorable, and it would fit. If you had a pet rat, it'd probably fit your pet rat. So I had a pet rat. You never had a pet rat?
I never did. No.
Neo, you ever had a pet rat?
I'm just trying to imagine a pet wearing that. That's what I was laughing at.
Oh, you're so damn cute. Oh no. If you thought that, look at, now I mean, I don't really want to have a pet rat, but it kind of makes me think that it would be.
Okay.
I had ferrets that would look very good in that outfit.
Oh,
Ferrets
you have ferrets?
Had. My whole life,
ferrets?
I usually have at least one. Because I just love them.
Oh.
But they stink. They do stink.
They stink. They're stinky.
Yeah. But they're furry, you know.
They're furry.
Their food smells like ammonia.
That is true. That is very true.
You guys. Okay, so it's a Friday. It's the week before Christmas. Apparently, we're just already in it. Like
you are. Well, I don't know about your house. Well, actually, I can tell from your house just from seeing the background. I mean, you're already decorated over there, Deb.
Yeah, downstairs too, and then Jim is coming this weekend, and we're gonna get a Christmas tree and make, cookies, and I'm really, really grateful just for that alone. Oh my God, yeah, Jeffrey, Gizmo from the Gremlins, totally, I completely agree. Gizmo with the
that would work.
It would be a little tight, but it would work.
Oh my God, the Gremlins.
It'd be Under Armour. He could use it in the gym.
That's way cute. If I could actually show you guys something that looks a tad bit like a Gizmo gremlin, except it looks like the one that ate after midnight.
Oh, okay.
So that's my dog Monster.
Oh. Dog Monster, that sounds about accurate.
I have a dog named Monster. I'll get him in a minute. You guys can see that he looks just like a gremlin. But animals are a really good way, period, are a really good way to just like raise the vibration.
No kidding.
I have 3 dogs. 3 dogs.
Animals are like music when it comes to that.
That's true. Yeah, it's a good analogy. I like that. And the nice thing about animals is they give that love without any pretense. There's people sometimes say it's unconditional love. I kind of think that unconditional love is a redundancy because it's not really love if it isn't unconditional. But it's certainly without pretense, without any kind of strings attached, with just, hey, here I am. I love you. I'm so glad you're here in my life right here, right now. And I don't even know what happened 10 minutes ago. I mean, that's the kind of attitude you get with dogs and cats and ferrets and everything else. I mean, it's just wonderful what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think? Do you have animals, you guys?
Two
Two
dogs
cats,
right now.
2 dogs. Mm-hmm.
2 dogs, 3 kids. Yes.
We just have the 2 cats, one for each of us, So, and which one is for each of us? Well, it just depends on the day. It alternates.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say
Well,
because somebody would catch feelings if yours is spending too much time with your wife, or hers is spending too much time with you.
It does get a little bit crowded sometimes at night because I'll
don't
wake
you?
up and I'll have one on one side and one on the other side. Like, oh, wait a minute, I can't move. What's going on here?
Gotta be able to roll over. Got it.
Yeah, right.
Okay, I really love that. Yeah, we have a 10-pound dog, a furry white American Eskimo. You guys have seen Foxy.
Ooh, yes.
She was just over here trying to get up in it right now. She's now laying in her bed by me because she was like, thought she was going to get on camera again. And I'm not joking. Like, she likes to get on camera. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. She's a Hamlet, and she is my dog, though.
She like her mama.
Yeah. Well, she showed that last week actually when Andrew Kapp was on. She jumped on camera, She's interesting too. She didn't really want to look on the camera. She just wanted to be on camera. She wanted to be.
She just wants to be. Yes.
Like a Sphinx cat.
A Sphinx cat.
Look at me. You're going to look at me.
You will. It's just, oh my God, you guys. Okay, we're just having way too much fun. Hey, Jeffrey, what's going on with you in your world? Where are you at out there? And, I want to really take a deep dive into, let's talk about, right now we're heading into the holidays, and appreciation and gratitude are such a thing. And Walt just graduated from Taya Boot Camp.
I did.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Yes. I took 26 weeks to go through an 8-week course. So that's, 3 weeks for every week.
Right.
They actually stretched the course out to 12 weeks to kind of make me feel better. So now it's a 12-week course. But
yeah, they did that just for Walt.
It was just
because we were super concerned he might be butthurt over himself.
But it was a great experience. It really was a great experience. I gained a lot out of it. I've loved the fact that so many LOA Today listeners have also become boot campers. That's been really wonderful. I got to meet people. I love that. I love meeting the people who've been listening all this time. So those of you who did join boot camp, in part because you were listening to LOA Today, thank you. I mean, it's been great getting to know you guys.
That's cool.
Now I have to ask, does graduation mean you're officially channeling?
Does it mean that I'm officially channeling? Oh, geez, I don't know. It doesn't really get measured that way. I mean, well, in my case, one of my big goals with going through the program was to improve my internal connection. So in that sense, yes, because I have definitely improved it. In fact, I can say that the way that I improved it was in understanding understanding better what it is. Okay. And the reason I say that is I had long suspected for years, that because I've heard so many people say, well, everybody can channel, everybody can connect to source, everybody can receive messages, everybody can do this stuff, but I couldn't do it. And I just suspected it must be that I'm getting the messages and I don't know it. I'm just not aware of it. And that turned out to be true. Because it took me a while to actually get this. But every time that I think of something, I now understand this. Every time that I think of something occurs to me and I'm in a high vibe space, that is a message from source. If I'm not in a high vibe space, that's probably a distorted message from source that I don't want to trust because my ego has twisted it around to something that isn't what the original message was. And that's why it seems like for so many of us who have doubts about this kind of thing, it's why it seems like it doesn't work. It seems like we're not getting messages because the messages that come through when we're in a lower vibe space that we're basically distorting out of all recognition, they don't work. They don't turn into what we expect them to be. And so we say, well, that doesn't work. That can't be source. But it is. It's just that we distort it. So which ones do I listen to? I listen to the ones when I'm in a high vibe space. And then it works out. I think, oh, how cool is that? Now I know where the messages are. I found the message board.
I love that. Okay.
I was going to say that reminds me of Untethered Soul. One of the places I took that book was basically when you're smiling or when you're laughing is when you're having the same exact thoughts as the higher you in this moment.
Yes, exactly.
And when you're not, you're in a different vibration. So it makes me circle back to that exercise. I want to start implementing that back into my life, because I got to tell you, that book changed so much. In the next 2 weeks after that book, I was just goal after goal, just pulling them in. So I'm circling back to that. Make sure you guys circle back to that too. If you are smiling or laughing, you are in perfect vibration or thinking the same thoughts that the highest form of you would be thinking in this moment in time. Everything else is just different. So just use that to smile more throughout the day and laugh more throughout the day. And just that's better days in itself, let alone what it produces after that. It's beautiful.
Did you say that you got from a book?
Untethered Soul. I think it was that book or the one I read before, of the audiobook I listened to before that. I kind of take them into my garage and I go down this deep foxhole. There's a little bit of weed involved, but yeah, we come out with greatness in the end of it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm from California. That's like weeds like you practically can almost get it in the grocery store, but not quite.
The bubblegum machine, like you got a quarter?
Dude, it's coming. Like that and shrooms. That and shrooms. We'll talk about plant medicine on another episode when we get the expert in to sit with us.
I want to sporadically throughout this episode hit you guys with some affirmation creation, so be ready for that.
Continue. I love that. I totally dig it. So, channeling. So Joe says, hey Joe, that's my hubby, y'all. He says that I say that everybody can channel, but graduating from Taya Boot Camp does not mean that you can channel. And that's absolutely right. We're all a conduit. I think I've said it before, something about it, that we are, in fact, I know I have, we are the toaster. Got to plug it in.
Mm-hmm.
Got to plug it into source.
I don't know how I got, but I was under the understanding that that's what graduation meant. That's why I had asked it. I thought that was a goal, but now that I see it's a different goal.
So actually what it is Taya's a place where you go to get tools to work through trauma and PTSD and the bullshit that every single solitary person on this planet has dealt with. I am under the belief, I swear to God, and I love you guys, but I'm going to say it. We're all trauma babies. And we have trauma bonds.
By the way, for people who are listening, she was sucking her thumb. That's what that sound was.
I was just thought I would, yeah. So I just, look, I was a trauma baby. I mean, I literally need my Pampers changed. It was bad. I was the most butthurt ninny on the planet. I literally was victim mode on steroids and needed an emergency victim butthurt kit for my ass so I could sit down in the corner on my special hemorrhoidal pad for my butthurt ass. And some tissues for my issues. I am not kidding. It was bad. I love how I was basically the polar opposite of who I am today. That's for damn sure. And Taya gives you tools there to help you navigate some of that. That's what it does. It gives you tools to navigate understanding that you are really your ultimate transgressor. That's what I believe Taya brings every single solitary person to, because I haven't talked to anybody who's actually working their tools that still has an outside transgressor. Once you start working it, nobody outside of you will know. You're like, yeah, nobody outside of me is doing any of that. You start taking your power back. You start owning your life and who you are and not giving a shit what that comes out like, because you're in your truth. You're in your joy, your bliss. The channeling thing comes in because what David does is he brings messages through from source just to give us some insight. But the fact is you do have connection to that insight. All of us do. It all comes out differently, and we're all here to share our gifts differently. And hey, Jeffrey in Portland, Oregon, thank you for letting me know where you are. We're going to be going up through Portland, I think, in January. We also have a Taya boot camper that's not far from Portland. And yeah, hail yeah to the psilocybin. I got to agree with you on that there, Jeffrey. You guys. Yeah.
Debbie, for the first time in life, you've made me appreciate my teachers. I'm one of those kids that had horrible experiences with teachers, And for the first time, you made me appreciate them because I didn't go through life but hurt. I learned early on that this is happening because something I did. I'm not victim because this person did it to me. I learned that early on. And what I learned that with was homework and teachers. I mean, though my teachers were buttholes and I was probably a butthole back, the fact of the matter is I didn't do my homework. And they said that made up for 70% of the grade. So I'm down automatically by not doing it. So, but that made me realize I didn't do my homework. I bought this on myself. And I kind of carried that into everything. And that's what helped me out throughout the years before I actually knew what the law of attraction was or the rules behind it. So thank you for the first time. I have something to appreciate my teachers.
There you go.
They taught me that valuable lesson.
I freaking dig it. Love it.
Louise and I were actually having a conversation on this topic the other day, by the way. We were talking about it, not so much in terms of being butthurt, but in terms of victimhood. We were talking about the concept of victimhood. We don't usually use butthurt too much around the Thiessen household, but that's all right. It's another topic. But victimhood is a fairly big deal in that Louise, for years, was a psychotherapist. So she dealt with a lot of people who went through various forms of victimhood. And we were kind of playing around with the concept a bit and kind of playing some devil's advocate and arguing some stuff out to try to figure out, where's the handle on this thing. And what we finally grasped was that typically victimhood by, I'll say most people, maybe that might be an exaggeration, but I'll say it anyway. Most people treat victimhood as if it were an event or based on an event, when in fact, victimhood is a mindset. It's a mentality. And we tend to confuse the two. So that's good. When a person goes through an event that is a traumatic event, they associate with being a victim. It's an association. It's not the thing itself. The event itself is not a victimhood status. It's an association to victimhood. And that's something that we make in our minds. Well, if we make that in our minds, we can also make a different association in our minds that we're not victims. And that's why the whole thing, it has nothing to do with events. It has to do with mentality.
I agree 100%. And I love how you just unpacked that so beautifully. It's absolutely correct. It is a mindset. It is simply a mindset. And if you could do that, you can certainly shift it. And you ever held on to a story and like every time somebody asks you, you tell that story because that story is the story that you tell to keep you stuck and locked into a place. I was this, I'll give you an example. I recall somebody who had a horrific experience regarding extreme sexual abuse and trauma and stuff that was just like it was all over the news kind of thing. And 40 years later, they're still telling the story.
Ouch.
They're still telling the story. It's still that I was a victim, and true. There is that to that crime, true. But you're not today, and there it is, right there, Walt. It's not a victim. It's the mindset.
It's not the event. The event is not the victimhood.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do I'm gonna Google search. I guess I'll use my calculator. What's 40 times 365?
I just want to show you guys this.
What? I said, what's 40 times 365?
Oh, hell if I know. I need a calculator.
14,600 wasted days. That's how I look at it. But you could have been watering a different seed.
Yeah. And well, put it another way. If you're watering that seed for 14,000 days plus, what are you growing? Think about that one for a moment. Don't spend too long on that one. That'll just depress the hell out of you.
Yeah.
But
well, but okay. So that takes me over to Ram Dass. Like we're all here, walking each other home, and then it takes me over to Marshall Rosenberg. That beautiful innate want to just be loved. All of us, everything in life that we've ever done is just to be loved. And it is that simple. I know, God, Debbie, you're simplifying that so much. Yep. Because that's all it really is. And then you take it down from there and see, oh my gosh, I did that because of this, which then had that result. I know I don't want to do that anymore. I think I'll try it differently. There's so much insight to the beauty of doing it in a way that didn't turn out the way that you had hoped. Of course, then we're going to get all into Wayne Dyer and his teachings of the Tao Te Ching from change your thoughts, change your life, and don't hold on to expectations. Holding on to expectations, that's another huge one. What about practicing the art of non-interference? I want to tell you all what. Now, this is real. I had a situation come up in my life, and I didn't practice the art of non-interference because I thought it needed to go whatever way I thought it needed to go. And that right there is an expectation, right? So I've just set myself up for some serious heartache and failure when I have done this. I couldn't just shut my mouth. I know it all. I had to be right. Seriously. And I love myself for this because I saw myself do it. I actually could see myself doing this shit.
Wow.
Oh my God. What are you doing? I could hear it on my shoulder going, Debbie, you're supposed to be practicing the art of non-interference. And I'm over here like, nah, what's up? I'm going to interfere. Because, I'm not going to trust my abundance whatsoever. I'm going to fix this shit. So, there's that. Which then leads me over to my original love, which was the 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, who said, be impeccable with your word. That means the words that come out of your mouth are magic. They could be white magic. They could be black magic. That doesn't freaking matter. What do you want? What results do you want? Now back over to Neo, because he said he's got positive affirmation tools for us today. And given the fact that our words are power, that's where these things that come out our mouth, that's powerful. It's creation happening as you open up your mouth. If you're curious about what the other 3 are, look them up.
Google it. No, this is actually good. I wanted to do something. I'm just gonna call it affirmation creations.
Okay.
You're in that funk, or someone is in that funk where they're feeling butthurt about something, or they've been victimizing, and they want to end that. They want to proactively end it through this specific technique, which is affirmations. What affirmation would you come up with to get you out of that headspace? Who's going first? Walt, Debbie?
Walt, you go first because I'm laughing over here at Jeffrey. You're cracking me the hell up. That's what it's called, spelling. No yeah. Dude. Love you. Oh my God.
You gotta ask me the question again, Neil. I just got totally distracted by that.
God, that's why it's called spelling.
That's a good one. That's actually a very good one. An affirmation to get you out of a butthurt funk.
I don't really do affirmations specifically in terms of I have this one affirmation for getting me into a place. I don't really do it that way, especially since going through the Taya boot camp. One of the greatest things, I actually said this to David when I did my exit interview, so to speak. He asked me what was the best thing that came out of Taya for me. What was the best thing I picked up? The best thing was the 3-step processes they have for when you're really, really in a low place, what they call down the spiral, when you're way, way down there. It's a very simple process. First step is you engage in a low thought activity of some kind, ironing, cleaning, walking, something that doesn't take any thought at all for like 10 minutes or so. And then you follow that up with 3 to 5 different affirmations / appreciations. It's more like appreciations than affirmations. Things that you can appreciate right now and feel good about them. And then when you've done those 2 things, then you do some meditating for, 10, 20 minutes, something like that. And when you're done with that, I find I get to the first 2 and I'm already up the spiral. There was exactly one instance so far where I had to do the 3rd one in order to finish getting all the way up, and it worked. But it's the most effective method I've ever run into and experienced, and I love it. So that's my go-to. I don't really do an affirmation. I do a process.
Okay. All right. Well, let me reword the question, because it's one thing to get you out of that mood, which I love that. I wrote it down. I'm about to use that.
It's a good one. It really worked.
Forever. But I meant like as far as manifesting not being in that mood anymore.
That's a choice. Dude, that's a choice.
It is a choice. It is a choice that's easier reminded once you, that's what I say, I do like affirmation.
When I'm in it, I just start breathing. Period. When I get there, when I go there, breath. And the affirmations are good too. If you're in a space where you just have to seriously remind yourself, but that's why you write a list of 100 I am words about you and a love letter to yourself, so you can pull that sucker out and read it. But you got to do it when you're high vibed. You can't do it when you're low vibed.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's the kind of tool I'll use, and those affirmations are in there. There's really great things you could write. Aren't you a badass?
Mm-hmm.
Is my mic going in and out?
No. A little bit.
Oh.
I mean, it's not bad. We still hear what you're saying. It's just that the volume tends to change a bit.
I don't know what's going on with my mic. I can go out and come back in. I personally think you could take stickers and stick them on the bathroom wall, or sticky notes, put them in the bathroom mirror, just reminders. You rock. You're awesome. God, look at you go. Aren't you incredible?
Mm-hmm.
And mean that shit. You guys, the I am great, I am blah blah is beautiful. I am that I am is the name of God in the book of Moses, or the book of Genesis, and that was said by Moses. The I am statement so powerful, Neil and Walt, that like literally that is I am. In fact, never say I am sorry, because you're not a sorry ass. There you go. You're welcome.
Yeah, exactly right.
Exactly. I am and I love are definitely two of the most powerful ways to start off an affirmation.
I appreciate. I am grateful for.
That's exactly what it is. When you love something, you're manifesting a future where you're loving that thing again, which means you're appreciating it, you're grateful for it, you're happy, you're smiling. And so I absolutely love that whole aspect of it. And that's what I want to do. I'm gonna probably bring this again next week, and if we run into it some more. Last week, I said, you know what? I need to sell some more merch. And I said, now, what's my affirmation for this merch? To sell more merch. And I said, you know what? I love selling merch.
All right, there you go.
It's an accurate statement. The ego can't mess with me and say, no, you don't love it. Of course I do. So I start, no lie, I did it one day, a couple times, forgot about it for a whole week. 6 days later, I had a meeting, wasn't even thinking about it, left the meeting, lady purchased 17 wristbands.
Ooh, nice.
I was like, hey, that's a 6-day turnaround, and I only did it for one day. I'm getting real good at this whole thing. So I do this thing like anytime I want something, or I go for something, or somebody says, hey, listen, we got a meeting tomorrow at 9 o'clock. We're going to kill it. Immediately, I'm like, all right, my affirmation till then, I killed it. I killed that meeting. I feel great about that meeting. And I just I just create affirmations, and that's what I'm living off of for the day.
That's cool. I like that.
And I'm trying to get other people to do that, to kind of not skip some of the beginnings of the law of attraction and learning about it, but to dive right in and get those results that they need to make them research more, to make them come to watch this show more often. So I'm trying to get them the best I can as far as results there, because results make people show back up. So yeah.
Well, what you're describing is, it's been called a number of things. It's been called segment intending. It's been called pre-paving. There are a lot of different names for it. And what really amounts to is, here's what I want to have happen next. Mm-hmm. Here's what I'm aiming for next. And literally the best thing to do is to do that throughout the day, depending on what's going on in your day, from one place to the next, from one thing that happens to the next.
Try to shorten down from a paragraph, something like a phrase, maybe a sentence. Although a sentence can get too long, because your ego steps in and picks at certain words. Well, when will you get it? How will you get it? So make it short and make sure you say it 10 times. That's why I say an affirmation. You got to say it 10 times. I always say you'll be smiling by the third time you say it, and you'll be Your brain will be giving you more reasons to be happy about it by the time you hit the 6 or 7.
Yeah, well, I love that, because what you're really doing is you're getting yourself into the feeling space by saying it 3 times. And like you just said, after the 3rd time, you're already feeling it. So just by repeating it over and over again, you're giving yourself that really deep feeling of what Neville Goddard called the wish fulfilled. That space, that place, that event, that experience, when everything worked out the way you were hoping it would work out. How does that feel? That's what you're building.
And here's the thing about hope. By the 5th or 6th time you say something, your brain is going to automatically start throwing at you examples to support what you said. In other words, reasons to believe that it's either coming or it's a real possibility. So it's not like you're reading it from a book or outside. This is in your brain coming to you. That is going to instill confidence in that goal being achieved. Next thing you know, you expect it, and what you truly expect is what's going to happen. So I'm trying. It's a real good thing, and I'm trying to do it as often as possible. Anytime I have a goal outside of go get a glass of water, which involves me just grabbing my water bottle. Anytime I have some type of other goal, something small, got to run to Lowe's and return such and such, I'm on it. My trip to Lowe's was amazing. Nobody gave me, I wouldn't say nobody gave me no hassle, because then I'm talking about hassle. But out of the many things that could go wrong in that trip, I had a great trip to Lowe's. Envision running into somebody that you haven't seen in a while. Nice. Finding a $20 bill on the floor. Oh man, remember that last time I found a $20 bill on the floor? Stuff like that. Like, bring them in. Every day you're faced with 60 to 70,000 choices.
Yeah.
What am I going to think? What am I going to think next? Let's use it in your favor.
Absolutely true. Yeah. And by the way, I love what both of you guys were saying earlier about the I am statement, because that is like the foundation of the whole thing. And you were mentioning having notes around the house. I have exactly one note. It's been on my wall. It's right up here above my desk where I can see it every day. I've had it up here for probably 5 years now. And the note says, I am source energy, and I make wonderful things happen by feeling good first. Because I want to remind myself every single day, that's the secret. Feeling good first. Because if I can do that, my I am is going to produce my oh my God, that's what it's going to produce.
Can you give me that one more time? The whole thing?
Yeah, sure.
It's what?
I am source energy, because I want to remind myself where I come from. I come from source energy, so I am source energy. And I make wonderful things happen by feeling good first. And that's been on my wall now. And I look at it every day. I see it every day. I don't even take it in every single day, but I still see it. It goes into the subconscious mind.
There you go, everybody. I typed that in because I love that.
You type it right after I spent 20 minutes handwriting it. My hand's cramping up.
Well, yeah, seriously, writing's changed, isn't it? We're all so used to electronics. Okay, I'm going to tell you what I see in my room right now. Okay. Always be yourself, unless you can be a unicorn, then always be a unicorn.
I like that. That's cute. That's good.
Wait, do unicorns have wings? Or is that just Pegasus?
Oh, Pegasus.
Oh, okay. Is Pegasus a unicorn?
No.
Oh, all right.
Pegasus is a Pegasus. A unicorn's a unicorn. Because it has a little horn. Yeah. Okay, so I have Namaste, Princess of Everything. That's what I've got in front of me. Back here, what I have is, it says, I don't know if you guys can read it. Expect nothing, appreciate everything. Grateful for the little things and the big things and all the things in between. And a grateful heart sees many blessings. And over here, I have, be grateful for you.
Nice. Very nice.
Now, I'm going to tell you guys that keeping positive, I love that you brought this all up, Neo. Putting positive stuff around you that you're taking in with your eyes, it's putting that into the atmosphere. I'm telling you, my room's so lovely and cozy. I love it. I have angel wings behind me. I have my little new sparkly angel. She's so pretty up there. Joy's over here. Love is over there. The beautiful plaque I have called love. Anything that you
surrounded yourself with joy and love, by the way.
All around. And just so that you all know, pink is representative of love. because pink is a variant of red. Okay, so it has to do with your heart chakra. But when you have pink, you're inviting in love. Now, I didn't know this, and the reason I know it right now is because I was just in my nonverbal communication class and we had to do an evaluation of an environment. So I picked my bedroom. I picked my room. I picked my studio here, and went, okay, because it's so me, but it's also, yeah, what?
Just out of curiosity, when you say a nonverbal communication club, I picture a bunch of people standing there, class. I picture a bunch of people standing there, not talking, just teaching mentally, like. I love it. The whole time, no one's allowed to talk.
No, it was a class. Remember, I was in school. It was a class, and in this class, Leo, you kill me. Could you imagine? No, what it did is it made me like this private. Like, I'm watching for nano expressions, like by the side of the mouth. Like if I'm interrogating somebody, like I'm going to sit there. So I'm literally like uncomfortably now. I'll just stare at people when they're talking. Watch for the nano expressions. Nope. And if their eyes move a certain way, I'm not sure I believe you right now. It works every time. I swear to God. Anybody feeling sorry for Joe right now? Anyway.
I have to, but just now I had this image in my mind of a Star Trek episode where everybody's talking to each other telepathically and there are no mouths moving at all. That's what it sounded like to me. Yeah.
Well, that nonverbal communication is 80%, 90% of our language. It is huge.
Yeah.
It's how that we are. So nonverbal is also environment. It's also what you have around you. It's how that your environment's speaking to you. What are you doing to create a space in your life that
and
brings
how you're
you
presenting yourself?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Totally. But it all ties back in to how that you speak to yourself. Your I am, if you don't want to call them affirmations, if you want to call them statements, if you want to call it a process, whatever works for you. You're in control of how you want that to be. I literally I have leopard. I love leopard. I have leopard pillows. I mean, my room, this is a thing for me.
Mm.
Gentlemen, I realize that some gentlemen are not into their decor. Well, I'm going to tell you, like anything that you can put around you, anything that makes you smile when you see it. Because it reminds you.
Well, I know that vicariously. I know that because of living with my wife, because she's like the consummate Christmas decorator. I mean, you should see the apartment right now. It's just gorgeous. And it's gorgeous every year. Unless she's having a really bad year, like the year she was really sick, not a whole lot was happening that year. But other than that, it's a joy to be a part of it. It's just a joy to be living in it. So,
you got cats.
What's that?
And you got cats.
We got cats too.
That means figurines are getting knocked over.
No, actually they don't, believe it or not. They really don't. It's kind of a shock to me. But they don't actually do that. Oh, look at this.
Nice.
Love.
That's good manifesting, Walt. That's good manifesting. I wanted to say something about exactly that, Debbie, what you put up. Just real quick for everybody, because there's two sides to every coin. The decorations and having love and inspirationals all around you are great. But I know a lot of people who have them up everywhere and don't even recognize them. They're just background noise. I'm not going to say you have to use them. I'm going to say it's so much more beneficial if you use them. Because if you look at a paragraph for 1 second, you will read and register that entire paragraph. So glancing at a room, you will read and register love and the inspirational messages. So it is getting in there somehow. But I think of them like stones. Stones to me, somebody said this to me once, it's like a lens. It can magnify and intensify. But if it's not being used, it's just a lens over there. Okay? So I just want everybody to remind everybody, use these things. I know so many people that has love and nice quotes written up on their walls, and they don't even see them or stop to read them. Use them.
I agree. Well, that's
very valuable that way. Yeah.
Well, now you guys are all, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, good. Okay. So now you're all getting into another scenario, which is not being present.
Mm-hmm.
See, what you're doing, Neo, and what you're doing, we're asking people to be present. We're asking them to do, okay, so if you're looking at I am statements or you're doing anything in life that's going to require a mindful practice or thought or an activity, then you're going to have to be present with it. And what happens is that we live our life not being present. We're not in our bodies. We're just going fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, and we're just existing, and getting present. Eckhart Tolle taught a lot about getting present, but the one thing that I dug about, and I'm not a huge Eckhart Tolle fan, but I like some stuff. I'll literally smack my hand if I have to bring myself back. If I find myself tripping or thinking about, here, I'll give you a for instance, y'all. You ever have this conversation? The three of us are having a conversation and you're you're 10 steps ahead thinking about what you're going to say versus being present, listening and actively listening. That right there is not present. If I catch myself thinking about what I'm going to say next to either one of you, I'm not present here actually listening to what you have to say. And I want to take in the magic that each of you are presenting today. Okay. So this is like super, you're right. You can walk in a room and you can just be there, blasé. But if you care, when you start loving yourself, you start working on being present. And yes, exactly. Presence is a present. It's your gift to be present with yourselves. And how do you know you're out of your body? Because you're off wandering in your brain in La La Land. That's how.
And we spend most of our time there, so don't beat yourself up for it. Just do better.
Oh, no. You don't want to beat yourself up at all. I agree. But usually when I'm in my head, I'm coming from this reptilian part of my brain, the rah, rah. I'm not necessarily always coming from my frontal cortex, which is where you really want to be. You want to be up here. Mind and heart coherence. This is what we want. Mind and heart coherence. This is where, when you want to get present, dude, this is it right here. Your breath and this to the heart. Present. I can see both of you. I'm back in my body. I'm here. I am. I'm here.
This is interesting what we're talking about here, because I'm realizing that there are two modalities going on, and we're kind of contrasting them, but in another way, they actually go together. Let me explain what I'm talking about. Right now, you were just talking about one of them, the idea of being present, of being right here in the now, not allowing the distractions, just what's going on right here, right now. The other thing that you referred to was like having the word love up on the wall in the living room or something like that, and not giving it a whole lot of attention. And yet both of those are useful modalities. What's really cool is when they work together. Let me tell you what I mean. Best example I can think of, the work Professor Emoto, the guy who works with the water and the crystallization of the water, putting the movement and so forth.
Yes.
Right? So what does he do? He'll take a container, and he does it a lot of different ways, but I'll just do like the simple description. He makes a piece of tape, takes a piece of tape, puts it on a container, writes love on the tape, pours water in, or actually maybe do it in the reverse order. Put the water in first, and then put the tape on, and really apply that tape with feeling to it, and then he'll leave it there, and that water will keep being sweeter water. It'll keep being better tasting water, even though he's not giving it attention. Similarly, if you are living in a room and you're in a place where you're right now and you're having water right now, and you pour water into a glass, you don't even have to put anything onto the glass. You just think, I'm feeling love right now. You drink the water, and it tastes better. It's a more purified water. Now, the interesting thing is what happens when you combine the two together? What happens when you pre-plan by creating your container, putting the water into it, putting love on it, applying the emotion to it, and then repeating the process throughout the day each time that you take a glass of water? What happens is it gets multiplied. It actually increases in power. And that's what I kept thinking about as we're talking about this. You get the benefit of both. You get the benefit of love on the wall, and you get the benefit of being in the now, and they both work together.
Exactly. And Neo, you can't be drinking out of plastic. But gentlemen, really quickly, just a side note, plastic gives you estrogen increases, which will affect other pieces. So be careful. I'm not joking. I just read this report the other day about plastic and men.
I was just telling this water how I love it before I drink it, and now.
Yeah.
Well, that still works.
It still works. Well, I got to tell you. Okay, so back to Dr.
Emoto. Here. I'm going to use this other water.
But you may go through menopause, so just warning you.
Damn it! Okay. Here's what I swear. You guys just are killing me. Dr. Emoto. His work is extraordinary. If anybody hasn't seen it, you've got to go look at it. And yes, I don't care what it is.
And do it, by the way. Don't just look at it. Do it. Try it. It really does work.
Well, it does. So get 2 glasses of water. One of them, don't do anything to. The other one, talk to it, for about a minute. And then taste each one. I swear, it is true. They're sweeter. Dr. Emoto's work.
By the way, a variation you can do
unbelievable.
too. Before you go there, I want to point something else out too. If you do that test that Debbie just described and you find that you're not really noticing a difference, alter the test this way. Have one glass that you pour anger at and another glass that you pour love at, and then try the test. And you'll find a much bigger differentiation between the tastes. Particular test.
I haven't tried that.
Well, there's a documentary on Gaia, on water. And it's fascinating about how water holds memory. See, the reason that this is so awesome is because water, it holds memory. There's a molecular structure to water. The most amazing substance we actually have on Earth, and we are like 80% of that substance.
Yeah.
It's freaking nuts, y'all. This is awesome. Even higher than that. Yeah.
Yes.
That's why sound healing works. That's why putting out it's the change of the vibration. If that's all it is, you're shifting vibrations and things. You're shifting the molecule. Actually, I'm going to stop trying to explain science because I didn't take that in school and stop because it's not coming out very well. But I will tell you.
I posted a link to on my old website before Neopositivity was born.
Oh, cool.
I had a whole page on my other website about this where I took screenshots from the video. So I posted it there. If anybody wants to see it, you'll see the pictures from the video.
I want to see it.
The link is right there there we go.
I want you to bring it up. Here, I'll bring it up.
Oh, I forgot about that. Now I could do screen sharing.
You can.
Yeah.
Screen share.
Oop. Okay, so
we're still planning these things out.
I love this. We're going from I am to this is rad. Let's
Here we go.
Yeah, so I got this. This is just the page on my old website. I haven't been on it in 10 years.
And of course, since most people are just listening to the audio, they don't see what's going on. We're actually looking at Neo's page, and it's about the water test, and you can read all about it. It's very cool. So I'll put it into the description for this podcast, so you can find it there. But the link, verbally speaking, is Neo Maya Davila. So it's NEOMAYADAVILA.com/the-water-test.html. And again, I'll put that into the description of the podcast when I publish it.
Thank you. Yeah, this is, I felt so strongly about this that I had to make it for everyone to see. What the bleep, there's the link right here for if you wanted to actually see the YouTube video. From What the Bleep when she was walking through, talking about the water test. And if you wanted to go to Emoto's website, just click on there. It'll take you to his website. Although it's in a different language, might need to translate some things. But yeah, this is the water from the Fujiwara Dam by itself, that first one. And this was after the blessing for a Buddhist monk, after being distilled, and after it was labeled the Chi of Love, and people would they put it in a mirror and a window, so when people would walk by, they would read it, and it would just say love, and that's it. The emotion coming from that person to that bottle in that one word. This one said, cool. Thank you. This one said, I hate you, you make me sick.
And for people who can't see this yet because they haven't looked at the page, that last one is so different. The first one, it's like looking at beautifully formed crystals because that's what he does. He freezes these.
Have you guys ever looked at a snowflake up close?
Oh yeah,
that's what it is.
It's what it is.
You know why? Look at that is a snowflake. You just look at the pretty little one.
By the time I get to the telescope, it's melted. So.
But when you look at the last one there, because that last one was a really negative emotion, it's almost like it's fragmented. It's like it's falling apart. It's diseased.
It's disgusting.
Look at that pretty one.
Huge difference.
It is disgusting. It's cancerous.
It's freaking disgusting. I think it was an electron microscope that they used to see these results. But yeah, I mean, blessings distilled, but the chi of love. Look at that.
Yeah,
it's
beautiful.
Look at that.
Chi of love. And thank you.
What else looks like this?
The two look so similar too, right?
Thank guys,
you. Very simple.
I'm all excited right now because look at me. I look like a little kid interrupting in kindergarten. Okay, seriously, look. Snowflakes look just like that.
They do.
Snowflakes look just like that. Let that sit in. Think about this. It's nature. Nature is what?
Love.
The orchestra of life.
It's love.
Nature is our orchestra of life. Everything in nature reproduces life. And those snowflakes that we see, because we've all seen a snowflake. Oh, Neo, that was good. Thank you for sharing and showing everybody.
My prehistoric website.
Yeah,
for those of you who don't know, my name is Nehemiah Davila. And when I first got my first website, I was like, I'm just going to call it my name and just put myself out there. And so that's what I did up until Neo Positivity became a thing. And then I switched over. But I still pay $19 a month just to have this website there, just so I can go back and see, what has changed and what has stayed the same. And stuff like this is timeless. Most of it is still the same. But I've never really placed love and nature together like that because of how savage nature can be, like animals in the wild or, they kick their kids out right afterwards and they're eating each other and they feed the ground. And, but no, this snowflake thing is just proof to me 100% that nature equals love. It just does. The snowflake is right there to show you.
That's
hey,
right.
Debbie, I don't know if you saw Kevin's comment. He asked an interesting question because you were raising the idea about not drinking out of plastic. He says, what about a milk?
So what I did is I posted the report right here into the chat. Hopefully you guys can click on that. Exactly. And only drink that water. Exactly, Kevin. Use glass. This is not a plug for Voss, but it is because look, I love my Voss bottles of water. I also get my water from the water store locally that this guy has been here in Huntington Beach forever, but I use glass. I try not to drink out of plastic. This is insane. Apparently it just converts to estrogen in our system. This is not good. Not good. And so I just put it there. I'm like, ooh, plastic's only been around for how long, you guys? 100 years?
No, not that long. It's like 80 years.
Not even that.
Oh, it'll be 90
years?
90 years. 90 years because it was not 1930.
All right. 90 years. Okay. So, I mean, look at it. It's quite probable that they are discovering these things by now. So just be careful. But as far as in order to get the absolute best effect, just use glass. And the Voss bottles are cool if you can wash them.
Are you aware of what Louis D'Souza has talked about? He's talked about drinking from a copper container. Apparently that does something to the ions and produces a very desirable effect, but I don't know much about it.
My question on that would be, what about for those people that have a problem with heavy metals? And would that be putting too much copper into your system? Even though we do need copper, I would be curious about how much copper is good how much copper is good copper?
And where do you find a copper cup? That's the second question.
Oh, you can go on Amazon.
Yeah.
That's not a plug for Amazon. I'm not plugging Amazon. I did not just do that. No.
That's all right.
Really.
Let me ask you this, Debbie. If I was to take water out of here and put it into glass and drink it, would it still take the plastic negatives into the glass?
Oh, I love that you are talking about this because here's what I believe. I believe that it can be shifted. And here's why. They've done a bunch of studies just like that. And because what happens is it takes on the molecular structure of the actual container that it's in. Now, how they know this is they had these rats and they were studying the rats, and they had, if I remember correctly, they had put something, wait a minute, I don't remember what it was. It's on that damn documentary. What I'm going to tell you is this. They gave rats water that had dangerous stuff sitting inside of it didn't mix in the water. It was just next to it. The water took the molecular structure, and the rats that were drinking it actually died. And this water never touched anything harmful. So the water picks up the structure. I'm not a scientist, and I'm just all of it. So seriously,
think of it this way,
go to
though.
Gaia and watch it.
Think about this, though. I mean, we were just talking about the role that emotion plays in structuring water and in controlling the flavor of water. Clearly, then, emotion and thought process affects water. Well, if that's going to be the case there, why wouldn't it also be the case in that particular study? I imagine that's probably what happened. There was probably a direct thought process going on there, and it infected the water, if you want to call it that.
Yeah,
I am a water nut, water freak. I drink.
Okay, well, I'll tell you,
easy, and I don't drink anything else besides vodka and cranberry. But
I learned something about water.
I believe, because I don't think I have too much estrogen. I believe that I have been shifting that water because of my appreciation for it to be good for me.
Probably, most likely, I bet you.
But I'm gonna drink out of glass more often because you said that.
So seriously, I just read that report the other day. That's why I posted it. But it's really simple. If I don't have the other kind of water, then I put it, if I don't have, if I have to use bottled water, blah, 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 then I will pour it into my Boss bottle, and I have a tuning fork. And I hit my tuning fork and I put it against the glass and I structure the water. I kid you not.
I need a tuning fork.
It is so rad. Oh, and then I put the tuning fork right here. Oh my God. It's so awesome. The other way that you can structure your water, and I learned this from Melanie that owns the Phuket Cleanse in Thailand. I call it the fucking cleanse, but it's the Phuket.
That's awfully close.
Dude, I was like, what? Where is this place? It sounds like
it's an actual place. It's a real place.
It really is. And so anyway, she said, I interviewed her and she was awesome. And she was saying that you take water in a glass container, everybody. You take it outside and you put it into the sun. And you let it sit in the sun and let the sun structure the water. Then you bring it back in and you drink that. You let it, you can freeze it. You can, put it in the fridge, whatever you want to do. But
that's going to do a lot of things, actually.
Yeah. So use the sun to charge it, and also to drink water first thing in the morning. Then if the sun is out, go and stand in the sun for 15 minutes because it's like charging a battery. You need water and you need the sun source energy. That's what Melanie said.
Plus you also get a filtering effect because the sun pours out ultraviolet light, which is a filter. It will filter out impurities from your water. Literally that's what the water authorities use. They actually use ultraviolet to filter out certain kinds of impurities. Usually,
that's rad.
So you're talking about using a glass. Because I know that they came out with a study that said, like, if you leave this in your car and it sits in the sun, then you get in there later and you need something to drink and you drink it, that has been known to cause cancer over time. So I'm assuming you put it in a glass and you can put it on your windowsill and come back and it'll be a different water, right?
Yeah, restructure that water.
I'm on it.
Restructure it. Yeah, and go to Gaia, and I'm telling you, Gaia has the best documentary I've ever seen on water. Y'all have to
Very cool.
Seriously. Yay, let us know, Kevin, how it works out for you. Seriously, these are all just suggestions. And I highly encourage people to just have some fun with it, for goodness sake.
Oh, God, yes.
Play. Have fun with it.
If you're not doing it as fun, all you're doing is undermining yourself.
And if you're not doing it all you're doing is sitting on your TV and watching too much Facebook, or watching too much TV and sitting on too much Facebook. Do something.
Not that we don't love you. We want you here. Yeah, you need to be watching us, but he's not. We are an exception to the rule.
Obviously.
Little self-serving promo there. We love it.
No, if you're going to be watching something, it might as well serve you, just like your thoughts.
Absolutely.
We'll sit back and ask you, are my thoughts serving me today? Is anything you're absorbing serving you today? Don't just use it for, your thoughts. Use it for everything, especially Facebook.
Well, I want to wish you guys a happy weekend. We're leading up into the last week, leading up to Christmas, so there's going to be more good stuff to talk about next week. By the way, I will be able to do a show. I don't know if you guys can, but I'll be doing a show on Christmas Eve, so hopefully you'll be able to join in. In the meantime, have a great week. Thank you very much to our podcast listeners everywhere, and we will see you all next time here on LOA Today. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.